Today, I'm gonna show you how to make this for $5. Stay tuned, it's gonna be awesome. This is an extremely versatile cooling fan that'll work all the way from a 3S LiPo down to standard 6-volt BEC power. It's very powerful, very durable, and you can make one yourself. Now, if this fan looks familiar, it's because this is the exact fan that people are charging $20, $30, $40 for online. They're just doing what I'm gonna show you how to do. The first thing we need to do is go on eBay, search for 40mm server fan, filter for used fans, and then you wanna start looking for fans that are sold in batches of 3, maybe 4. You don't want to get any fan though. You need to make sure you get a fan that is at least 0.6 amps. They're gonna have a specification on them. You can see this one says 0.8 amps. If you get something that's less than 0.6 amps, it's not really gonna be powerful enough, especially at lower voltages. So you wanna get 0.6, 0.8 amps. They've even got ones that go up to 1.2 amps, but they're really not necessary. It might take some hunting around, but you should be able to find a batch of these that'll cost you less than $5 per fan. I bought all of these on eBay and I spent probably $3 or $4 per fan on each one of these. These aren't cheap fans either. This is a Delta fan. This fan probably costs $30 or $40 new, and they're designed to run tens of thousands of hours in a server, so they'll definitely hold up a long time in your RC car. So you got your fan ordered, it's arrived, what's next? First thing we need to do is take this connector off and put a connector on that you can actually use on your car. What connector you use is gonna depend on how you wanna power it. If you wanna power it off a 2 or 3S LiPo, you just use a balance connector for that. However, I usually power them off the receiver, and for that, just get yourself an old broken servo or even your old broken fan that you're replacing. Cut the wire off of that, cut the connector off the fan that you bought. Most of these fans are gonna have this same type of wiring. They'll have a red wire, a black wire, and then 1 or 2 other wires that are gonna be different colors. You can just ignore those 2 other wires. So if we're using a servo cable, we just wanna make sure we connect the positive to the middle wire and then the negative to either one of the outsides. Which one you connect it to will just define which way this connector ends up getting plugged in. Now I'm gonna use solder and heat shrink, but there are some less recommended ways that you could connect these wires together. I like to twist the wires together before soldering. It makes a better mechanical connection, and these things do go through quite a bit of abuse. Speaking of which, once we get this done, we are gonna be putting this thing through some serious abuse as well. Now we always wanna make sure we test things after we make them, so I'm just gonna bring in this ESC, plug it in, and make sure it works. You'll wanna use whatever power source you're gonna be using for your fan. And there we go. That's 7.4 volts, so it's not quite as powerful as the full 12 volts, but it's still moving quite a bit of air. And that's what's so great about these fans. They're really versatile. Speaking of versatility, this is going to be a 40mm fan mount. So you're gonna need to have a way to mount this to your device, whether it's gonna be the motor or your ESC. If you've got a 40mm fan already on whatever you're gonna be mounting this to, it should be pretty easy. All you have to do is just probably use some longer screws. Today, we're gonna 3D print a motor mount for this. If you've got a 3D printer, it's a great option. It's really cheap, only gonna cost you about 20 cents in material. If not, you can get one online, or if you've got a buddy who's got a 3D printer, ask them to print one up for you. Let's get this printed. There are a bunch of different options on Thingiverse that you can use for different fan mounts, fan adapters, motor mounts, etc. This one's my favorite. Let's get it downloaded and printed out. You're gonna wanna have some sort of screen on the top. I 3D printed this one. This is another thing you can buy, or you may already have them if you're replacing a fan. And there we go, guys, she's all assembled. Now, we wanna test one of these out, but I'm not gonna test this one out, because I'm gonna give this one away to one of you guys. Make sure you stay tuned to find out how to win this. Instead, I made another one. We're gonna test this one. And what better truck to test it on than the brand new Arrma Big Rock. We got some big upgrades in this truck, a bigger motor, and now this big fan. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, make sure you get subscribed. We've got a lot more of this stuff coming up. Let's go test this thing out. We're gonna give it a bash, then we're gonna get it wet, and maybe dunk it underwater. Well, I've run a couple packs through this now, and we've managed to break an arm, an output cup, and a front shock. But the fan's still doing just fine. Let's see how it handles some water, though. As you can see, these fans will handle splashing water with no problem whatsoever. Now, there are electronics in here, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend submerging them, but just for general bashing and cleaning, these fans hold up great. So there we go, guys. For $5, plus the cost of whatever adapter you need for your particular application, you can get one of the most durable, powerful fans available. And personally, I think making stuff yourself is awesome. That's what this hobby is about. Now, if you want to win this fan, plus whatever custom adapter you want me to put on it, make sure you get subscribed to the channel, put a comment down in the comments letting me know what you want to put this fan on, and then if you really want to help out the channel, go watch this video.